There is a place where the land seems to breathe slowly, where mornings begin with the smell of bread baking over a wood fire, and evenings end in quiet and stillness. This place is Anatolia, a vast peninsula at the crossroads of East and West, carrying within it some of the oldest memories of human civilization. Anatolia, which the ancient Greeks called the land where the sun rises, makes up nearly all of what we know today as Turkey. This land has been home to farmers, shepherds, and craftsmen for thousands of years. People here were already planting wheat, raising families, and building communities that would endure for centuries, long before the construction of Rome. To visit a rural village in Anatolia today is not simply to travel to a different place. It is, in many ways, to travel gently backward in time, to a life guided not by clocks and screens, but by seasons, harvest, and the warmth of human connection. The landscape of Anatolia is remarkably varied. At its heart lies a broad, open plateau, dry and golden in summer, dusted with snow in winter. Along the Black Sea coast, the hills are thick with hazelnut groves and tea plantations. In the southeast, villages are built of warm stone against long, dry summers. In the soft afternoon light, olive trees and citrus orchards grow on terraced hillsides along the Aegean Sea. In the central plateau, houses were traditionally built from adobe, a mixture of mud and straw dried slowly in the sun. These thick earthen walls keep the cold out in the winter and the heat out in the summer, a quiet wisdom passed down through countless generations. Life in an Anatolian village follows the rhythm of the natural world. The day begins early, often before sunrise. Farmers check on their animals, sheep, goats, and cattle. Women kindle fires and prepare the morning meal. Fresh bread, olives, white cheese, and strong black tea served in small tulip-shaped glasses that have become a symbol of Turkish hospitality. At the heart of village culture is a concept called imice, a tradition of collective labor with no direct equivalent in English. When a harvest needs to be brought in before the rains arrive, or a family's roof needs repairing before winter, the whole village gathers to help. No payment changes hands. The understanding is simple. You help today, and tomorrow you will be helped in return. This spirit of mutual care shapes the entire fabric of village life. A neighbor's child is looked after as one's own, and a traveler who arrives at an Anatolian door, even a complete stranger, will be welcomed with food and rest before any questions are asked. This tradition of hospitality, known as misafirperverlik, reflects a deeply held belief that any guest is, in some sense, a guest sent by God. At the center of village life stands the Koikabasi, the tea house. It is where the men of the village gather each morning and evening to talk about the weather, the harvest, and the wider world. The tea house holds the memory of the village. Stories of difficult winters survived, of young people who left for the city and sometimes returned, of the year the harvest failed, and how the community carried each other through. These are not dramatic conversations. They are the quiet, ongoing record of a people's shared life. For women, the social world unfolds in its spaces, on doorsteps, on summer evenings, in shared tasks like weaving or preparing winter provisions, and in the steady warmth of friendships built over a lifetime. One of the most enduring traditions of Anatolian village life is the art of carpet weaving. For generations, women have sat at wooden looms, passing colored threads through tight rows to create patterns that carry meaning beyond decoration. A particular design might represent fertility or protection. Another might speak of longing or of home. These rugs, kilim when flat woven, hala when knotted, are not merely beautiful objects. They are, in a quiet way, a form of language passed from mother to daughter across the generations. Alongside weaving, traditions of embroidery and pottery remain alive in many regions. During festivals, people dress in the traditional clothing of their province. Embroidered aprons, hand-stitched collars, and woven sashes that say, without words, where a person comes from and who they are. More than anything else, it is the seasons that shape life in an Anatolian village. Spring arrives with wildflowers pushing through cold soil and lambs appearing on the hillsides. Fields are plowed and planted. There is a feeling of beginning in every task. Summer brings abundance and hard work, haymaking in the meadows, fruit ripening on the trees, and women preserving what they can against the coming cold. Autumn brings the harvest, wheat, grapes, apples, and cereals. The hills take on warm shades of red and gold. There is a quiet gratitude in the air, a recognition that the land has provided once again. Then winter settles in, covering the fields in snow and drawing the village inward. It is a time for repairing tools, for storytelling around the hearth, and for the kind of rest that makes the next spring possible. Faith is woven naturally into the fabric of daily life. The call to prayer rises 5 times a day from the village mosque, marking the hours as reliably as the movement of the sun. Alongside this, older folk beliefs continue quietly. Small blue glass beads in the shape of an eye, the Nazar Bonjour, hang above doorways and are pinned to children's clothing to protect against envy and misfortune. Near ancient trees or the tombs of local saints, one sometimes finds strips of colored cloth tied to branches by those who have come to pray for health or for hope. These are gentle, personal practices, carried forward not from superstition, but from a very human need to ask for protection for the people we love. It would be dishonest to say that village life in Anatolia is unchanged. Over recent decades, many young people have moved to the cities. Some villages have grown quieter, yet something endures. Electricity, mobile phones, and modern equipment have reached even the most remote corners. But beneath these changes, the core values remain: hospitality, the bond between a family and its land, and the sense that no one lives entirely alone. Anatolia is one of the oldest continuously inhabited regions on Earth. At Göbekli Tepe in the southeast, people gathered and built sacred spaces more than 11,000 years ago, long before the wheel, long before writing. To walk through a village here, to sit with a family over tea and fresh bread, to watch an elderly man tend his garden in the morning light is to feel connected to something that stretches far beyond living memory. It is a reminder that the deepest needs of human beings, for shelter, for community, for the sense that one's life has roots, are not new. They are as old as the land itself. In the villages of Anatolia, those needs are still being answered quietly and faithfully, one generation at a time. If this glimpse of Anatolian village life brought you a moment of calm, we'd be glad to have you stay with us. If you thought this story was worth your time, please consider leaving a like and sharing it with a friend or family member who appreciates quieter, more thoughtful content. For more stories from quiet corners of the world, please subscribe to our channel. We look forward to seeing you in the next video.